What are you doing in my swamp? What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2010 movie, Let Me In. The movie is written and directed by Matt Reeves, and this movie follows a 12-year-old boy named Owen who is really bullied a lot, and he's neglected by his parents. His parents are getting divorced, and he's staying with his mom, and she's kind of neglectful of him, but he becomes friends with this new girl that lives in their apartments, named Abby, who turns out is a vampire. And the movie's pretty much like just about them bonding throughout most of it, with scenes cutting of her going and killing people a few times, and her father figure, Thomas, played by Richard Jenkins, is also like trying to kill people and get blood for her and stuff. And then the other scenes are like with Owen getting bullied. This is a really good movie. It's one of my favorite horror movies of the last decade, and just one of my favorite horror movies, period. It's one of my favorite vampire movies as well. And everything about this movie is just absolutely amazing. The cast is perfect in here. Kodi Smit-McPhee plays Owen, and Chloe Grace Moretz plays Abby. This movie came out after Kick-Ass, but and everything, but it came out the same year that Kick-Ass came out, and I personally think that she's just as good in this movie, if not better. She's absolutely amazing in here, but so is Kodi Smit-McPhee. The movie wouldn't have worked as well as it does if it weren't for either one of them two. They both have really good chemistry, and they're both perfect as their characters, and they carry the movie really well. Richard Jenkins plays Thomas, who is like the adult companion to Abby. They pretty much act like he's her father, but it never really says for sure in the movie, but it's indicated that maybe he was a boy that fell in love with her at the same age as Owen and stuff, and he was like her lover up until the events of the movie. But it doesn't actually fully say. It's kind of indicated. Now in the book that the movie is based on, he's a totally different type of character, and he's actually a pervert that likes to prey on kids and stuff. And I'm really glad that they changed that for this movie. And this is also a remake of a Swedish movie called Let the Right One In, and I watched that version for the first time yesterday, and I thought it was pretty good. I personally like this version better, but I did like that one. And if you want to see my review for it, I'll leave the link in the description box for my my Letterboxd review for Let the Right One In. But back to this movie. Part of what made this movie so good is the besides the cast, is like Michael Giacchino did the score for this movie, and it is absolutely wonderful. It's like really great score. It has the tense moments. When it needs to be tense, it has the moment, just the right moments when it needs to be sad and stuff. That the score is really effective in those scenes, and it's really good. He did a really great job with the score. And the cinematography in this movie is also absolutely stunningly beautiful and everything. That's one thing that this movie did that the original one did too, is that the cinematography is just great, and the atmosphere in this movie is really good. It has that dreadful, eerie atmosphere, and it works perfectly for this movie. And I like that they set it in New Mexico during the winter. I thought that was kind of a unique setting and everything, but I really love Let Me In. I think it was a really good movie. It's, like I said, it's one of my favorite horror movies in a long time. or at the time it came out, and everything. It was my favorite in a long time. There's been a lot of really great ones that have came out since then, because the last decade was actually pretty good decade for horror. But this was one of the ones that started the decade, and it's easily one of the best. It's hard to believe it's already been out 10 years though. I remember when this movie came out. I didn't actually see it for a few years, till about 3 or 4 years after this movie came out, but I remember it was playing at the movie theater one of the times that I went, and I really regret passing up going to see it, because this is just a really great movie. If I would have had any idea how much I was going to like this, I would have definitely gone to see it. I passed it up to go see, I think it was The Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, which is a movie that I did like quite a bit and stuff, but if I could have gone back in time and changed that, I definitely would have gone to see this one instead. But I definitely would recommend this movie. I love like the relationship with Owen and Abby. It works so well, and like it reminded me of when I was 12 years old, and with one of my first girlfriends and stuff. It kind of like the way they reacted off of each other is kind of how we acted. So I thought that was kind of cool, except of course she wasn't a vampire. So there's that, but yeah, I just love this movie. I definitely would recommend it if you're a fan of horror movies. If you're not even a fan of horror movies, just if you like movies about first love and innocence and stuff like that, this is good for that too. It's a good drama. It's got a lot of stuff going for it, so it's definitely one that I would highly recommend if you haven't seen it. And I'd give Let Me In a 9.5 out of 10. The only reason it's not getting a full 10 is there is some CGI in here that is really, really bad. Like whenever Abby attacks people and stuff, the CGI is really horrible. That's another thing that the original did a whole lot better, was the special effects were a lot better in the original one. They did, I will say that the special effects in this are not near as good, but that being said, this is a great movie, and I definitely would recommend it. But let me know in the comments what you think of Let Me In, and I hope you enjoy this video. This was my review for my Day 7 of 31 Days of Horror. Tomorrow I'll be reviewing Steven Spielberg's movie debut, Duel, which I haven't seen in a very, very long time, so I'm really excited to watch that one. I've only seen it once, and I was a kid, and I don't even really remember it very well because I fell asleep through part of it, so I'm really excited to revisit that movie and review it. But let me know in the comments what you think of this movie, and have a good day, everybody.